edition of Stable Scoop. Today's subject is Waldo, and he's owned by Phyllis and Bob Svensson. He is hold on, I gotta reference my notes. He has a lot of information, and he's been around a long time. Waldo is a 2001 Hanoverian gelding, and I actually met Phyllis and Waldo when I came to work for Todd here on the farm that we lease about 10 years ago or so. Waldo, let's see, Waldo was in training with Todd at that time as an upper level horse. A little background on him, he's by the Hanoverian stallion Wall Street Kid, and Wall Street Kid was imported by Pat Limage, who was who still is, she has not passed. She was a big breeder of Hanoverian horses, and she and Phyllis have known each other a long time. And he was out of Phyllis's mare, so Phyllis bred Waldo, and let's see, Phyllis's mare was MS Treveri. She was also an imported Hanoverian mare. I never knew that horse. That was before my time. Let's see. Wall Street Kid was a sought-after dressage sire, and he also produced hunter-type horses. And Waldo definitely chose his discipline. As Phyllis says, anyone watching Waldo crash through jumps would realize that's not his mission in life. Let's see. Waldo was one of the top two foals at his Hanoverian inspection, and asked to come back as a 2-year-old to be considered as a stallion prospect. Phyllis says that was not in the cards. She did not want a stallion. Waldo did his first Pre-St. George in 2010 at age of 9, and competed at Pre-St. George and I won for the next 2 years. Something else that's a fun little piece of trivia is they wanted to try and consider Waldo as a potential Pan Am team horse. That was their goal when they were working on all this stuff for the small tour. And then he was retired from competition in 2014 to come home and be a riding horse for his mama. And he's also become an amazing schoolmaster for many students here at Elevationdressage and Eventing. And Phyllis's husband Bob also rides, and Waldo has been a wonderful teacher for him as well. And we can't wait to have everybody back. Right, Waldo? And Waldo has another love of his life, Alexis, who gets to come and take lessons on Waldo and has done a little showing on him in the past year. And hopefully we'll get to do some of that again, because you have fun doing that. He does like going out and occasionally doing a little show. Huh?
Said that, since Nikki hasn't said it, Alexis finally refers to him as the king.
Ah, yes. Waldo is the king. And unfortunately, the king has come out and taken a mud bath today. But he does like to do that sometimes. Let's see. Phyllis says he hasn't changed much since he was a young horse. He's always had a sense of humor and kind of made you prove you were up to riding or handling him, but he was never mean doing it, and that is definitely the truth. He's a very sweet guy, but he can be a little testy, not in a bad way. Just, are you going to do it right, or are you going to do it my way? Let's see. Oh, another tidbit about Waldo. When he was competing, he had a lot of allergy issues. That was definitely a tough thing to deal with. He would end up chewing at his sides while he was at horse shows, which unfortunately kept them from showing multiple times, because you can't have blood on your horse when you're competing. So they ended up having skin tests done by an allergist to figure out what he's allergic to. And eventually, once he stopped competing, his allergies kind of went away, so the stress of his competition career was something that had to do with his allergies, unfortunately. So when he came home to be Phyllis's riding horse, he got a little happier. He also developed anhidrosis. If nobody knows what that is, that's the inability to sweat, which is a problem for a horse when they're trying to cool themselves, especially in the heat of the summer. Apparently that happened. They were at a very hot show one summer. I think it was up in New York, actually, Phyllis told me. When he was 7 or 8, and Todd was showing him up at, like I said, at the upper levels. So he was working really hard. Apparently, Waldo and Todd used to share a Guinness every evening, as it was supposed to help the horse's sweat, which I'm sure a lot of us have heard before, that a beer will help that with your horse. And Phyllis does still supplement him with something called Let 'em Sweat when the weather gets warm, just to be proactive. But in recent years, he's been doing pretty good with all that. He hasn't shown us any issues. What else with Waldo? Waldo still enjoys going to Florida with us in the winter time. He, like I said, he still likes going out and doing some schooling shows with Alexis. He's been just ready to get on the trailer and hop to it. And he's always very impressive when he goes out and shows, and everybody goes, wow, that's a really nice horse. Which he is. He's fabulous. Let's see. What else about Waldo? He's very tidy in his stall most of the time. He's one that poops in the same spot. He is a very finicky eater, so he makes us work hard to keep him happy and to keep the weight on. And currently, we seem to be on an even keel. God, what? And like I said, Waldo is hoping that his people will be back soon. So am I, because he's very dirty, and they help groom him. So, other than that, that's Waldo's story, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about him.